Welcome to Male Mind Unlocked. There is a certain type of man who walks into a room without demanding attention, yet somehow everyone eventually senses his presence. He is not loud, not showy, and not seeking validation, but the atmosphere subtly bends around him. This figure is often misunderstood, because in a culture that glorifies constant noise and endless display, his quiet composure looks almost invisible. What many fail to see is that behind that calm exterior lives a mind trained to observe, analyze, and calculate with remarkable precision. His strength is not in physical aggression or superficial dominance, but in a deeper capacity to read situations and shape outcomes without anyone noticing how it happened. This is the foundation of what makes the Sigma male archetype such a fascinating and formidable force. Unlike those who thrive on hierarchy and status games, Sigma men detach themselves from the rigid structures that define most social groups. They do not measure their worth by approval, titles, or applause. Instead, their identity is built upon independence and internal validation. This detachment does not mean they are antisocial or withdrawn. Quite the opposite. They understand people so well that they can interact effectively while never becoming dependent on external recognition. They are free players in a world obsessed with belonging, moving quietly on their own terms while still influencing those around them. One of the most compelling aspects of Sigma behavior is their ability to interpret human motivation with uncanny accuracy. While many individuals project emotions, fears, or desires openly, a Sigma processes these cues like a strategist studying a map. Every gesture, hesitation, or contradiction becomes data. Because of this, they are rarely surprised. Even when they seem to let something slide, chances are they have already noted the pattern and are considering what it might reveal in the future. This ability gives them a psychological edge that often unsettles others, since most people underestimate those who remain silent. That silence, however, is not a void. It is an active choice, a space where observation replaces reaction. When confronted with deception, they rarely lash out impulsively. Instead, they let the other party believe the mask is working, all while watching closely to determine the next move. This restraint is not weakness. It is a strategic patience that allows them to control outcomes without revealing their own hand. It is reverse psychology at its highest level, turning manipulation back on the manipulator. In such exchanges, the Sigma man is always several steps ahead, and those who thought they were in control often realize too late that they were being directed all along. This subtle but commanding influence is why underestimating them is such a critical mistake. People often assume that power must be loud to be real. But Sigma power is quiet and precise, like a sharpened blade concealed until the right moment. They do not crave conflict, yet if provoked, they respond with clarity and strategy that makes them difficult to challenge. Their presence is not about domination but about maintaining mastery over themselves and, indirectly, over the dynamics surrounding them. In the end, the Sigma male's greatest weapon is not intimidation, but perception. He does not need to raise his voice or display his strength, because his awareness allows him to guide interactions from behind the curtain. He remains underestimated until the moment his insight reshapes the entire game. What others see as passivity is actually control. What appears as detachment is, in truth, freedom. And it is this paradox of invisibility and influence that makes him one of the most underestimated yet dangerous figures you could ever encounter. Control is the defining trait that separates the Sigma male from nearly every other archetype. While others allow emotion to drive their words and actions, the Sigma maintains a discipline that keeps him steady in the face of provocation. Picture an argument where tempers rise and voices escalate. In that chaos, the Sigma does not flinch. He does not allow insult to break his composure nor let anger cloud his thinking. Instead, he pauses, considers, and responds with precision. This capacity to remain composed when others unravel is the essence of psychological dominance. American culture often glorifies fast reactions and fiery personalities. Yet real influence comes not from explosive energy, but from the ability to stay unshaken when others lose balance. This is why Sigmas appear almost unbreakable. Their calmness in conflict is not simply a personality trait, but a deliberate choice to keep emotions in check so logic can lead. They know that once feelings take over, decisions become compromised. By refusing to let passion cloud judgment, They remain formidable opponents in business, relationships, and competition alike. What truly amplifies their power is their devotion to logic. While many people can be swayed by sentiment, Sigma men demand clarity and evidence. When drawn into a debate, they ground every response in reason. They dismantle arguments not by shouting louder but by exposing flaws with surgical precision. This makes emotional persuasion ineffective against them. Trying to win their approval through sympathy or manipulation is a wasted effort. They respect only truth backed by proof, and anyone who cannot meet that standard is quickly dismissed as unreliable. This rational mindset also feeds into their ability to detect weakness. They are meticulous observers, storing details that others miss. A forgotten remark, a subtle contradiction, a fleeting hesitation, these details do not escape them. If crossed, they may not react immediately, but the information becomes part of their mental arsenal. Later, at the right moment, they can use that knowledge to shift the balance of power. What makes this dangerous is their patience. They are not impulsive avengers. They are strategists who know exactly when to strike, so that their response leaves the deepest impact. That foresight is sharpened by their talent for long-term planning. When most people focus only on immediate results, the Sigma is calculating 10 moves ahead. Life is not a series of isolated events to them, but a chessboard where every action has consequences. They predict how others will act, anticipate outcomes, and prepare counters in advance. This strategic depth makes them extremely difficult to outmaneuver. To go against a Sigma is to face an opponent who has already mapped the terrain long before you step onto it. Even in social settings, they appear to linger quietly in the background, yet their silence conceals constant analysis. They study interactions, dynamics, and intentions, building a library of insights that allows them to influence outcomes subtly. By the time others realize they were being observed, the Sigma has already constructed a plan. To outsiders, it looks like luck when things fall into place for them. In truth, it is the product of methodical thinking and the refusal to rely on chance. This relentless focus on reason and foresight defines why they are so often underestimated until it is too late. They are not reactionary men guided by impulse. They are architects of their own outcomes, men who build advantage through patience, logic, and mastery of their emotions. Facing them means confronting someone who cannot be baited, someone who remains steady no matter the storm, and someone whose mind is always 2 steps ahead of your own. Endurance is the hidden core of the Sigma identity. Where many men stumble, under repeated failure or collapse when the weight of adversity grows too heavy, the Sigma responds differently. Obstacles are not seen as walls that end the journey but as challenges to be studied, adapted to, and eventually conquered. A Sigma man does not expect the path to be easy. He expects resistance, setbacks, and hardship. What sets him apart is that these obstacles do not stop him. Each failure becomes instruction, each disappointment a recalibration, and each defeat another step toward eventual victory. For him, persistence is not optional, but essential. This resilience is why others often describe him as relentless. When he sets a goal, quitting is never an option. He may pause, he may rethink, but he will return stronger each time. This mindset allows him to withstand storms that would break most individuals. In careers, relationships, or personal ambitions, his ability to outlast difficulty is unmatched. To compete with such determination is exhausting, because the Sigma will not stop until he has extracted every lesson and leveraged every angle. His persistence is not fueled by arrogance, but by a belief that there is always a way forward if one has the discipline to endure. Alongside this resilience lies another defining feature: memory. Sigma men rarely forget, whether it is a kindness shown or a betrayal inflicted. The recollections are sharp and long-lasting. If you stand by them with honesty and loyalty, they will remember and repay that loyalty in ways that stretch across years. Trust, once earned, secures a bond that few other men can replicate. Yet the opposite is equally true. If you deceive them, mock them, or take advantage of their trust, they may forgive outwardly, but internally the memory is preserved. It waits silently until the right moment reveals just how deeply they noticed and recorded the act. This duality of forgiveness and remembrance creates a complex dynamic. They are not men who hold petty grudges, but neither are they men who erase history. Every interaction becomes part of a mental archive. The positive fuels loyalty, the negative shapes boundaries. If they cut ties, it is not done lightly. It is the conclusion of careful consideration, reinforced by memory that does not fade. This capacity to recall and act with precision is what makes their loyalty so powerful and their vengeance so formidable. Their loyalty itself carries immense weight. When a Sigma man chooses to align with someone, it is not casual. He invests deeply, offering support, protection, and unwavering presence. Unlike others who may switch allegiance for convenience or status, a Sigma remains committed. He values truth and consistency, and those who reflect those values find in him an ally of rare strength. But this loyalty has a mirror image. Betrayal is considered the ultimate violation. Once crossed, he may forgive for the sake of peace, yet he will never again extend the same trust. To him, loyalty broken once is loyalty broken forever. All of this is reinforced by their nature as observers. They do not fill silence with empty chatter, nor do they need constant validation. Instead, they watch. They study. They collect details about people, environments, and intentions. Their quiet presence should never be mistaken for disinterest. Behind that calm gaze lies constant calculation. And because they rarely expose what they know, others are often caught off guard when the Sigma acts with knowledge no one realized he had gathered. It is this union of endurance, memory, and loyalty that makes them simultaneously protective and dangerous. They can be your most steadfast ally or your most patient adversary. If you have their trust, you possess something invaluable. If you lose it, you have awakened a force that does not forget and does not yield until the balance is restored. 2. Truly understand the Sigma male, one must look beyond the surface and into the layers of mystery that define him. While others display their ambitions openly, he conceals his plans beneath a calm exterior. This concealment is not born of fear, but of strategy. The Sigma knows that the less others can predict, the more freedom he retains. People assume transparency equals honesty. Yet for Sigma, secrecy is a form of strength. His motives, his goals, even his vulnerabilities are carefully shielded, allowing him to move without interference. This hidden nature gives him an edge in environments where others compete for visibility. While alphas push to be recognized, Sigmas navigate quietly, shaping outcomes without stepping into the spotlight. They adapt to any context, corporate settings, social circles, or personal dynamics, yet they never truly belong to those structures. Their independence allows them to blend in just enough to learn the rules, but their autonomy ensures they never become confined by them. This paradox of belonging everywhere but being tied to nowhere is what grants them such adaptability. The adaptability is paired with resourcefulness. If circumstances shift, they shift faster. If obstacles appear, they design new paths. This flexibility is not chaotic, but calculated. It ensures survival in a world where rigidity often leads to downfall. Their resilience, combined with strategic thinking, makes them the type of men who cannot easily be cornered. They always seem to find a way out, or more intriguingly, a way to turn adversity into advantage. Yet perhaps the most captivating quality lies in their preference for invisibility. Sigma men do not crave the spotlight because they understand the unique power of moving unseen. Attention can be a burden. Recognition can invite envy and opposition. By choosing to remain understated, they preserve the freedom to maneuver. They become like shadows rarely noticed, yet deeply influential in the patterns they create. This ability to operate beneath awareness is not only disarming but also dangerous, for it allows them to act without resistance until the result is undeniable. This mystery is what draws people to them. Others sense there is more than meets the eye, that behind the composed demeanor exists an ocean of intelligence, ambition, and capability. The allure of the unknown makes them magnetic, but it also keeps relationships complex. To approach a Sigma is to approach a puzzle that never fully reveals its picture. They allow glimpses, never the whole, ensuring that their influence remains greater than their exposure. For those who oppose them, this unpredictability is unsettling. You cannot prepare for what you cannot see. Their disguise is not literal, but psychological, a careful crafting of distance and enigma that prevents others from reading them clearly. They hold their cards close, playing only what is necessary, never revealing the full deck. By the time an adversary realizes the depth of their influence, the Sigma has already reshaped the outcome to his favor. And this is why underestimating them is always the greatest mistake. They are not defined by rules, not guided by trends, not confined by hierarchy. They are free, independent, yet remarkably effective at steering the environments around them. To encounter a Sigma is to encounter someone who appears unassuming, yet possesses the hidden force to alter the entire dynamic of a situation. This journey through their traits of resilience, rationality, loyalty, and secrecy reveals only part of their depth. What lies beneath is even more intricate, and for those who wish to explore further, there's always more to uncover. If you want to truly understand how this mindset operates in real time and how it shapes power in ways most never notice, the next step is waiting for you right here. Watch the video appearing at the center of your screen, dive deeper into the hidden psychology of the Sigma male, and see how these principles play out in real scenarios. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because what comes next is a continuation of this exploration, and you will not want to miss the unfolding of the complete picture.